right.
Let's go.
Hey, yo.
All right. Lovely day for a conversation. Day 2, session 4, I guess. We got Hamza joining us. A lovely day for a conversation is a conversation series where we're over here at Lovely Day in Oakland, myself, Bar for Bar, and Drums and Ammo.
DJ Ambush.
We're talking to local artists, getting to know them, getting to expand our communities, and just talk about some dope stuff. And like I mentioned just prior, we got Hamza here.
Hey, Mom. I love you.
Hey, Hamza's mom.
You made it.
All right, Hamza. For those out there who don't know you, and even those who do know you, who are you? Why are you here?
I ask myself the same things every day, you know. No, my name is Hamza. I'm an artist based out of Oakland, California. Born and raised East Bay. I started my music career with rapping. Done a couple of things with that. Aside from that, been just a lover of music and, you know, creating as much as possible. Just, creator, producer, ghostwriter, all the things.
Yeah, no, you're damn near everywhere. And try and do everything. And I mean, I was gonna just ask where you're from, but you kind of mentioned that already. But how do you feel like that may have influenced your music and your thoughts going into the music realm? And how'd you even get into that, I guess?
I mean, that's a great question. I mean, like, to answer your first question, being from like Bay Area, we're one of the most culturally diverse cities in America, and I think with that being said, like, it exposed me to a lot of different avenues of creativity, and that's more or less that. How I got into music, I don't know. I always felt like my brain was like tuned to, you know, just catching things like sonically. But aside from that, my stepdad was a relatively famous hired gun reggae bass player. So I always had studio equipment, freaking guitars, basses, everything just like kind of just around my house. So, you know, it just sparked my interest at one point and just started playing around with stuff, and here we are.
You couldn't get away from it. It was already there.
No, big facts.
That's dope. So
I got a question. Did you ever think of like having an MC name, or did you always go by your name?
Man, dude.
I just thought about that right now.
I've
interviewed him before too.
I've gone through a whole lot of names in the past, and I just had to settle with Hamza because some of it just didn't really. It felt like I was trying to make a character that wasn't necessarily reflective of like my artistry. So I think my first rap name was like Primitive or something like that. And there's been probably like 10 iterations since then, but I settled with Hamza.
That makes sense though, dude. That makes sense.
Does it feel like you're more true to yourself now that you've decided to just use your actual name?
I mean, I'm kind of mad now too. I'm thinking about changing it because there's a more famous Hamza that made a track with Drake. He's French, you know. Fuck that guy. No, shout out to French Hamza. You know, we got different pockets, man. But you know, that's
damn.
But yeah, you know, hey, he's putting on for the name.
Hey, you might be able to just use his name. Just run off that.
You know, that's what I've been rocking with, man. You know, where you think all these streams are coming from, baby?
Oh.
You can arm wrestle him for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. French Hamza, arm wrestle me for all the streams and the namesake.
Coming for it.
You heard it here.
He's calling you out. That okay, sure. Shit, I guess going from there, where do you transition from that? So you grew up around music. I mean, we can kind of go into your production too, I guess, from here, but like, was music always something that you wanted to do as far as like rapping, or did you want to do production, or did you always want to do a bit of both?
I always wanted to do music. That's was the big thing. But to be honest, my music didn't start with hip hop. It was like I played a lot of guitar as a child. I went from
Did you play Wonderwall?
I have a classical guitar background, so I played that for about 3 or 4 years. Then transitioned into jazz. But while I was doing that, like I just liked, playing stuff on the guitar and singing too. So like really I started my music journey writing poetry and singing to acoustic guitar, whatever's like that Jason Mraz type bullshit,
No. Dude's huge though. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it, man.
I always played a song at weddings when I DJ.
Bro.
That was the go-to.
That was the dream back then, bro.
You could have just had Hamza there.
Was that? Oh,
You could have had 12-year-old Hamza
that could
playing
have been
it.
crazy.
It was a different time. Child labor laws were different.
Yeah, come on, man. This child's ready to work.
Shit. So I guess what made you get into, I guess, more of the hip hop space?
Man, that's a long story. But
We got
okay,
time.
so freshman year, I started trying. I was big into horrorcore rap at the time. Like
yeah.
Brother Lynch,
ICP?
like ICP.
Bro, were you mean?
Like I was like really into that. Like I don't know why, like I wasn't that angry of a child either, but like it's like killing, yeah. Talk about, like so I started my rap career or my rap journey trying to make horrorcore rap, and it just wasn't sticking right. So I just stopped for a bunch of
That's
years.
crazy. Wait, so I feel like that was like what, maybe 2008?
This is probably 08, 09.
So you literally just my music journey too.
Brother Lynch.
I started getting into Brother Lynch right away.
Hey, Brother Lynch is freaking still one of my favorites.
Brother
though, okay?
Lynch, let me
Shout
tell
out
you-
Brother Lynch.
Like, I pretty much listen to a lot of East Coast, but when I started kind of lining up with local stuff, Brother Lynch was kind of one of the first ones because it was like sample stuff, and it was kind of like Compton's Most Wanted, like MC8, like they were sampling the same type of things, and that's kind of the idea, the vibe that I was coming from. Plus, he can rap though. Brother Lynch can just rap.
Man, he can rap his ass off.
just
And then on
rap.
top of that, like, what was it? Rest in Piss was like one of like that was a fire joint. And that was like very similar to that like time period of Menace to Society, MC8 type, funky ass gangster rap.
Season
I
Sickness
love that
Volume
shit.
1. Hey, don't buy Season Sickness Volume 1 though. He doesn't get any of that money. So
okay.
bootleg it.
Bootleg it. Come on.
Okay, so you started off with horrorcore.
Yeah.
And then you stopped.
I
You just-
stopped. Yeah, hard stop.
What made you go from there though?
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's another story within itself.
You about to say it's like Childish Gambino? You go to the
Absolutely not. Absolutely no shade, Childish. You know what? I like Awaken My Love. The rest of that, you keep that over there. But anyways, yeah. So I've been a jazz musician for a while, and like a big like fundamental part of jazz is improvising. And I was doing that through high school. Then when I got out of high school, there was a lot of like freestyle rap circles just like around in like downtown Oakland, wherever, and like I saw a lot of my friends going there. And I recognized at a certain point, once I started doing it, is that the same like portion of my mind that was like doing improvising and jazz was able to translate it into freestyling, So like I kind of took that and ran with it for a long time, and that was my thing. And then from there, it's like, you got to record some of this stuff, and the rest is history.
I found pictures from Webster, from the block back in the days when y'all used to do this.
Man,
I'm gonna crack you over the head.
That's gotta be like 2014, 2013, That's at least 10 years back.
Dude, yeah, I found pictures.
Crazy.
It's Overcast, you, DiMaggio, Nims, and it's right. That's where I met.
Man, that was the birth of a lot of dope stuff too.
And
like that's
your boy God. What's your boy?
Cam the Underachiever. Come on, man. Shout out Cam the Underachiever, y'all. Like, please, if you don't know who Cam is, go find out, man.
Yeah.
Find him online, please.
Yeah. Anyway, I just threw that out there just to, you know what I mean. I'm gonna hit you over the head at those a little bit. Strip,
Man.
You just really been out here just doing this shit.
Hey, man, I was a street kid and a vagrant for a while. So, like outside was my MO.
outside.
Hey, I'm not mad at that. It brings out different stories.
A whole lot of different stories.
That's when outside was inside, pretty much. You were out there like that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, go from that. It's like, is there anything that really stuck out? Like anything that you can remember? Like, oh yeah, that was one of the good days.
Man, there were a lot of good days. Like when we started, like, okay, going back to Cam the Underachiever, me and him started a rap group. It's had to be 2015, something like that. Maybe even before that. But like the second we started recording and doing stuff, there was a lot that was happening with us, and it kind of culminated in like us doing we opened at the Ship Show Festival, which was on the USS Hornet. We got to meet, we were opening for Wu-Tang, Lupe Fiasco, DMX, like a whole lot of legends. And then like from there, it was like we just kind of took that and ran with the energy for a while, So that was probably the highlight.
That's crazy. That's a crazy lineup to open up for too, though.
Yeah, that was a wild day. It was a wild day.
How'd they get all those people on the boat?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I guess money.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. You're probably right.
Yeah,
that usually does it. Shoot, I mean, going from there, what do you feel like you want people to kind of get out of your music? Like, do you want people to just kind of know you as this weird guy that makes random Action Bronson like ad libs? Or is there a deeper meaning you want?
Hey, yo. I mean, you know what? I think that ultimately music is about expression, and when it's done right, it triggers raw emotion. And whatever that means at a specific time for you is cool with me. I'm the type of person who doesn't really take myself seriously. I take my craft to the utmost severity, but I can't necessarily just like put a pin on it. It's going to be like, hey, when you listen to this, it's going to be this. I also make a bunch of different styles of music too. So, I think people have been able to get different things from different pieces,
That's dope too, because it shows that you're multifaceted. Like there's more to it than just a particular sound and general idea that people want to get out.
And I mean, that's the biggest thing with me. And this is probably, not necessarily the most productive form of like creativity. But I mean, when I grew up, I always knew that I wanted to be in music. I always knew that music affected my emotional state, just everything. To the point where like this is who I am, this is what I do. So I mean, deeper than that, there's it's just about creating the space of longevity within it to pursue it in whichever way you want and having fun with it. And like the biggest thing with me is like gotta be having fun while doing the music, and if not, it may never come out, but
yeah. And I mean, what's the point after that? It's like, if you're not enjoying it, why even do it?
Money is a good point, but yeah, I ain't get that yet,
Aside from the money, if you're not enjoying it, what's the point? No, that's dope though. Like, yeah, there's a lot to it there. Before we started recording, you going kind of back to where you started, we were briefly talking about how you starting into, I guess, instrumentation a little bit. Did you want to tell that story again?
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was interesting as all. That's why.
I think instrumentation played like a really integral part in the way just I see hip hop music itself, you know. Like I was talking to High Right over there. I think he left now, but yeah. Madlib was talking about Planet Asia and how he sounds like a saxophone, and like that made me like go back and like listen back and like hear like certain specific cadences and like certain pockets, certain deliveries, and like hear how that translates into other music too, because ultimately the voice is just another instrument, you know, applied with rhythm, but you know, like an instrument nonetheless. So like there's so many different ways of approaching it, especially when you're thinking about like jazz. Okay, we got a saxophone right here, we got the drums right here, we got a trumpet right here, guitar right here, and there's so many different approaches that like congregate together to make like the ensemble that we're like hearing, that like it's, you know, there's so many ways to approach it, man, you know?
Yeah, putting it together is crazy. It's like you don't, you know, just from the sense of like, oh, I'm just listening to the song. Like you don't necessarily realize like there's hella stuff that goes together.
There's a lot to unpack, and you know, I mean, like sometimes shit's a blessing and a curse, dude. Like, you know, it's great when you're like making music and you know, are locked in the right way. But sometimes too, it's good to just listen to a track and enjoy it, you know? And I have trouble with that sometimes these days, but not enjoying music, but you know, just listening to it for what it is and not trying to hyper-analyze it, you know?
Yeah, dissecting it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I mean, obviously with Bar for Bar, I do random lyric breakdowns, so I get too into the weeds with that. But also, I have a friend who masters music, and now I kind of know what to listen for, and I'm like, oh, this might have ruined a lot of songs for me.
I was talking about this just yesterday. My daughter, she's a barber, and she cut my son's hair, and you know, the whole time he's walking around, she's still like, you know, like, hey, maybe I could come and... So it's easier. I mean, she has a hard time just having, you know, the haircut without looking at it, trying to figure out what else she can do to it. Whereas it's the same thing with like music. For some people, they'll listen to stuff they've done and they can't listen to it without being like, oh, I could have turned that snare up a little bit, or I could have... You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing for me too. Like when I hear a track, like sometimes I'm not like, oh, this track is dope. I'm like, but that hi-hat though, you know, like the most arbitrary part of the track. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that got me hyped. You know?
Hyperfixate on one single instrument.
Exactly. Yes.
Hey, sometimes that happens. Like I'll be riding in the car and I'm like, oh wait, what's that? Like, and that's the only sound I hear.
Yeah, dude. Welcome to, you know, the rest of your life.
Crazy.
That's for sure.
That is the super nerd producer segment of the interview, the psycho segment. You know, because that is what we do. Break it down. You know. Yeah.
Gets too into it sometimes. Oh man. Shoot. Going on from there, I guess. One of the other major things that at least I know you for, and maybe some other people may know you for, is Mr. Stranger. How did that come about? Because I think a lot of people can kind of generally get, okay, this is like a story piece. There's something else going on, but like, what I guess pushed you to make something like that, and then also build everything else around it, like the comic, the art, everything?
It's a good question. Well, Mr. Stranger started, it's a group between me as the vocalist and my homie 5 aka No Fair, Sean. He's the producer. Hearing his beats, first and foremost, reminded me of old skits from like an MF Doom or, you know, just people within that vein. And I think around the time we were making it was the beginning of pandemic. So there was a lot of apocalyptic vibrations just in the world, I guess, you know. But I knew with Mr. Stranger, especially with the style of production my guy 5 does, that we could do something and create a world within it that would be something that's just like more than just the music, you know? It started out as like a 3-track EP. And it was, at that point, it was still like cinematic storytelling, but there wasn't necessarily a full storyline with it. And it wasn't what Mr. Stranger 1 became. But after about 6 months of recording and plotting out, we ended up, you know, making it what it is. And yeah, I don't know if you know what Mr. Stranger is, but I should have probably prefaced this. But yeah, it's like it's a sci-fi. It's an epic sci-fi hip hop opera, if I could describe it as anything. Very rooted in things like Deltron, you know. And yeah, telling a story about kids surviving in the apocalypse.
Yeah, no, that's
Go Pete.
for sure. No, that's a dope way to put it. And how'd the visual aspect of it come about? Was that always the intention, or did that just kind of come up afterwards?
Well, I was working with a label, Study Music Group, at the point in time that we were doing the production for it. And the head of the label, Foss Citizen, is in the Good News crew with Del the Funky Homo Sapien. He reached out to an art student out in New Zealand, the homie Matt, and I guess he used Mr. Stranger to create an animated video for his final project. And yeah, after we released that, he actually got a national award. He got second place for some graphic design national award in New Zealand.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Huh?
Pretty wild.
I didn't know that. And that was for 1 or 2?
That was for 1.
That's for 1. Okay. Yeah.
2. Can I talk about 2? Yeah, 2 was the visual element was created by our homie Mark, who's an amazing graphic designer, and we kind of wanted to chisel away at like building the actual world out. This one we didn't do an animated video, but what we did do is a read-along comic. So everything that you're hearing in the album is something that you can read along to within the comic while, you know, while listening, reading, you know, whatever. And yeah, I mean, I think like a big thing is like we're big, you know, me and my homies are big sci-fi nerds too. So we like world building, you know, and yeah, it was just it was a fun project, man. Super fun project, fun series, and expect more coming in the next couple years.
Hell yeah.
Couple years. Oh yeah, here we go. We got one of the comics right here. But yeah, you know.
Oh shit.
Oh.
What's up?
Use a sticker, my guy.
Oh no, that's just open. I just, you know what I'm saying? I just open it.
It's preservation's sake.
Crispy.
That's what's up. No, and that's hella dope too. Like actually having the visual element that's like a physical thing to have. Because, you know, a lot of people can just do it online, but like I think the physical aspect of it makes it more personal. It makes it feel like real almost.
Well, we wanted
it is real, but
yeah. I mean, we wanted to like, I guess with all the merchandising we've done with Mr. Stranger as a brand, we want it to be limited run, very boutique oriented, like collectible things that are personal that a person can buy into. Like, let's say you like Mr. Stranger. If you like it a lot, you know, like I have these $15 signed copies right here. And the aim is at least that anything that you buy from me is a collectible that appreciates in value and also has sentimental value, because we made 50 of these and we're not making any more.
Yeah, that's
you
it.
know?
That's it.
And
That's
like
a
we
wrap.
just do limited runs of stuff, you know?
That's dope too. Like,
On Drums and Ammo Recordings.
Come on. Say that again. What'd you
Drums and
say?
Ammo Recordings.
Do, 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 do.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Come on. You don't want to see anybody dancing in the videos, you know what I'm saying? Come holler at us, man. DNA.
Holla at DNA.
Yeah.
Come to death, bro.
nah, but that's honestly, that's such a cool concept to have.
In the art show. Tell them about the art shows for this.
Yeah.
Talk about that real quick.
'Cause we had a couple of them, right?
Come on, man. Give it.
Yeah, we've had a couple of them, man. But I guess it started with my the other half of Mr. Stranger. Sean has been working at one of the most popular and historically significant art galleries in San Francisco for a really long time. So we wanted to do an album release, and they mentioned that they would be willing to host us, you know, which was like a really big deal.
Ministry Gallery.
111 minutes.
Yeah,
Sorry
111
about that,
minutes.
guys.
I was waiting for you to say it. I'm like, when is
Yeah.
he gonna? I looked at the build up. I was like, yeah, 111 minute, super official, super iconic art gallery in San Francisco.
Yeah, and so they were allowing us to do something there, and we all kind of got together, especially with the visual element that we developed with the comic book. We figured it would be cool, since we're in an art gallery, to like make this into an art gallery, you know? And it took us like 6-7 months to fully plan it out and get everything, like all the details perfect. But when it happened, man, it was a great show, great turnout. We expected maybe 50 people to be there and ended up selling 150 tickets.
Man, that shit was cool.
You know, sold out almost all of the merchandise. And everybody that was there seemed to like it a lot, you know? So it's been kind of something that we, you know, have to run with more.
Yeah. And some of the art pieces, some of the artists, they did their own renditions of Mr. Stranger. So some of those pieces were going for like 500 here, 1,000 there. It was crazy.
Yes. So the concept was, you know, recruit artists to, you know, use the ski mask icon in like their own rendition of an apocalyptic scene, whatever, you know, whatever that meant to them at a specific time. And like, it's been a cool method for us to tap in with other artists, for artists to sell their work, for us to just make, you know, more of an ecosystem around what we're doing. And, you know, because I don't know too many people who are doing the comic book associated with this, with that in the, you know, as far as music is concerned. And, you know, we want to create the space and brand everything that we're doing as fine art, because that's what it is, you know. Respectively, all of us within our own crafts that we've used to like make this project have been doing it for 10, 15 years, you know, for a long time. And, you know, we don't want this to be seen as like McDonald's rap stuff or McDonald's art. It's not fast food, you know. This is fine dining right here. And that's how we're pushing it, you know.
I heard that. Damn. That's what I'm talking about.
That's dope. That's good too. It's like you understand what you're worth.
Man, I'm just waiting for the world to catch up. You know what I'm saying?
They'll get there. They'll get there eventually. And it's crazy too, because it's like I know you mentioned like not really no one's doing the comic book style or anything like that. Where, you know, if you look back, it's like that comics kind of were part of hip hop in the early days. Like Wu-Tang, I mean, Outkast had their covers too, and Sean P had that, but like they're
I mean, dude, like this is all like rooted in like
freaking MF Doom.
this is all rooted in that initial tree, man. You know, that initial seed, bro. Like,
It's just no one ran with it.
and I mean, I don't know why people don't do it more, especially nowadays. We have like a perfect medium to get this stuff out, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's cool because I think in this day and age, a lot of music seems very disposable, in the essence that, okay, we have to continually fuel this hamster wheel of content just to feel like we're successful with the stuff that we do. And that's kind of not, you know, I mean, that turns me off, like with like with actually wanting to pursue this as like a thing, you know? But I think there's a world for it all. And yeah, man.
Keep chiseling away. Keep chiseling away,
man.
I feel that. I definitely understand where you're coming from, where it almost feels disheartening. Like, why am I even doing this if no one's going to stick with it?
Well, you know, I think the biggest thing is that as artists, like when we like make music that we find impactful, it's like we're giving a piece of our soul, like doing it, you know? And it's hard for anybody to like continually do that and feel like they have to give more, and more, and more, you know?
Yeah.
That's the truth, man. And to be honest, I don't think that necessarily like yields like good art in like the long run. But you know, if we're not here trying to create the reality that we want to live in, then what are we doing, right? You know, I'm not gonna be one of those types of guys that is like dropping, you know, this and that every single week. You know, I don't have the money, first off, you know, nor the time. But hey, you know, when I get that $1 million record deal, I'll drop a lot. You know,
I don't know. I mean, from our earlier conversation, it doesn't sound like even doing that would make sense. Because I mean, once you start doing it, you kind of get a little bit too perfectionist.
Oh yeah, I'll spend the money before they start asking questions again. You know?
then you'll start putting the bullshit out. I mean, I guess going from lasting power, I mean, I'm sure if you haven't heard already, Kendrick's been playing Not Like Us for the last 3-4 years, damn near, feels like.
It's on a hell of a run, dude.
Like, do you feel like that's just like a random one-off thing where it actually is meant to ever last, or is it just is it actually a song that's supposed to be like that?
I mean, well, man, I've gotten so much flack for my takes on this Kendrick Drake stuff, man. Like, I don't even want to talk about that.
We don't have to talk about the whole thing.
No, but I mean, with Not Like Us, I think it's a great track. It's definitely not what makes me love Kendrick.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll say that first and foremost. But, you know, I think what he was able to do with it was capture a moment in time and like use that and run with it to the highest level he possibly could, which shout out to him, you know, but like Not Like Us is definitely not my favorite track. As a matter of fact, I find it kind of weird that, you know, kids in the Midwest and like suburbs, this is what they know of Kendrick, right?
No, that's
hot
really,
take.
You're right. No, you're right. Though.
Man, it's not the Heart Part 1, Part 2. You know, it's They Not Like Us, right? But hey, you know, I digress.
That's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down.
No,
sorry, y'all.
That's their intro. That's a lot of people's intro to them.
That's
what I'm saying. So.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's just how, man, like, that's how this game is, too, though, you know? Like,
you gotta play it somehow.
I don't think it's aging well either. I don't think it's aging.
I mean, I don't like the, man, I don't want this to go viral necessarily, but.
I won't clip this
Hey,
part.
I love you, Kendrick. Come on, bro. No, like, Kendrick is literally one of the greatest of our time. Like, he got a Pulitzer Prize for a reason, but that reason was not They Not Like Us to me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, there was definitely other reasons for that.
Still a GOAT.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know.
Yeah. All right. Before we go off on a completely different tangent, shoot, I guess what else do you want people to know? Like while we're here.
That's a good question, man. A little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Vulnerability right here, man. I've been having a hard time figuring out how to balance artistry and art life with life sometimes, man. And it's a tough thing, especially like early on, me and my people were playing big shows, almost like signed a really big record deal or getting managed by some big people. And to see like the pivot and understand like what the expectation of what music means in your life is like a big thing. And sometimes when you have the expectation that this has to work in this specific way, that can make you very depressed as a person, you know? And that was something that I've had to get past. But ultimately, on the other side of that is something really beautiful, you know? It's realizing that your artistry, that the music you make, everything that, you know, like you put your heart and soul into does not necessarily need to be judged tangibly by like a dollar amount or like the value of what another person who doesn't know your experience thinks of you, you know? By the end of the day, we're just putting our heart out there, man. And like within itself, that is a jewel. That is beautiful, you know? And most people don't have the courage to just live their life in that way. And, you know, so I'm always thankful that I had music just as an outlet. If it's just that, then that's fine. If it's more than that, I wouldn't be mad, you know? But like ultimately, you know, we're not in it for a destination. This is just who we are, you know? So still rocking until the wheels fall off, you know?
It's like an extra sense. It's like an extra like limb, like an extra way to communicate.
Man,
a lot of people
and it's a superpower. It really is a superpower. You know, and it translates in so many different ways too that we can't even just quantify just like by talking about, you know? I think specifically with my life, if I didn't have music as an outlet, as a place to go when I was like kicking with my knucklehead friends and everything, I don't know where I would be, you know? It wouldn't be here talking to you guys though. And like no matter what it is, man, I'm forever thankful. And, you know, just gotta stay with the creativity, man, you know? Okay, last thing I'm gonna talk about.
Damn.
Sorry. My bad.
Got mad serious all of a sudden.
Oh man, that's
I feel it though.
you know.
I feel it.
shit is real in the
Stay
field.
serious, man. But you know, I think what most artists need to think about, or you know what, I'm not even going to say most artists, I'm just going to say me, and this has been my approach recently, and it's been helping me be able to be more creative and be able to be more happy and excited about doing new stuff, is there is no destination with music. There is no destination that is greater than like the destination of your choice doing it, right? And furthermore, with that, create, instead of trying to sign a record deal or trying to make something go viral and pander to an audience, create a space of longevity within it, man, you know? And like, that's my approach, man. Now I'm an educator, you know, I teach kids how to produce and engineer. And just being around music, being around like a creative space where I can do that and not necessarily have to have a normal 9-to-5 job is a success, dude. And like, that's beautiful. And I think people need to kind of readjust to like, freaking think about, how am I gonna be able to do this more and more often, you know? Like, and still live life and like not be, you know, not be a starving artist, you know? Or fully starving, you know, just half starving, you know?
Just a little hungry.
Yeah, hungry artists, you know?
No, that's great to hear. Like that's a really good perspective on it.
Man, gotta remind myself sometimes, but
Hey, you're not alone. This is good. It's a good reminder for everyone. Like anyone who's listening to this, or anyone who's even not in music. Like I mean, you can do any other form of art, and like, you can probably still pull from it and realize, like, yeah, no, like sometimes you gotta be realistic, but you can still keep rocking and keep doing what you're doing,
bro. But that's the thing. That's why I've been taking on to producing so much more lately. Like I'm known out here as a rapper, but like I'll tell you, I spend 90% more time producing than I do rapping these days. And why is that? Because I have more fun doing it, and like I still have fun rapping, but like it's a whole nother element to like rap to my own beats, and like do something that's like solely you. So hey, rock out, man, and just keep on pushing, man.
Dropping them jewels.
Yeah. Shoot, I mean, I'm pretty much out. You got anything, Ambush? I'm sure we can honestly just keep chopping shit up.
Well, no,
hey, we good.
No, I'm good, Daddy. I'm good.
That just felt like such a good
Yeah.
Shoot, well, thank you for joining us here.
Dude, thank you guys for holding the space to have conversations about this, because I think that, these conversations are pivotal in directing where, like, I guess like the culture of hip hop, whatever, local Bay Area, whatever art scene stuff like is going. And, like the more we talk about it, is the more we actually have an eye into like what's real about it. And that's tight. So thank you guys, man.
I mean, you said it better than I could.
Yep. I have to copy that. Sample that.
Right, just throw it in the beginning of every video.
You know what I said, man? It's gone now.
Yeah, you take that. Since you're not rapping anyway, we'll just take that line and, keep it.
Hey, yo.
Right, well, you had something for us to listen to, right?
Yeah, I got a little 16
something.
beat that I made this week. I thought the beat was kind of fire, so like I'm like, let's rock it out. Let's show you guys I still rap and produce. You know what I'm saying?
Let's do a little bit of that.
I made this beat like 3 days ago. This might be one of the best beats I've ever made, no lie. But hey, we on it. Hey, turn that up. Turn that up. Yeah, check. Rinsed by the rain, feel it when my pen strike a page. Soul shine till it exit time and space. Crushed by the weight, fine grape with a well-ripened age. Mind state trying to rectify shame. I was living irate. Came back, visualize fate to give you that which I designed great. All 365 days, working towards my enterprise phase. In a blind rage, moving like fuck out my way. Seen too much of life change to wonder if the next surprise may arrive late. And I intertwine state. If we don't vibrate, cast away from my space like you really Tom Hanks. Most rappers all lame. These bars Shawshank, Lambrobata on plate. A superhero in a Carhartt cape, skating in the parking lot late. Yo, my name is Hamza. Thank you so much, y'all. I appreciate you. It's been real.